I woke up to the sterile smell of antiseptic and the hollow hum of hospital machines. My body was broken, but it wasn't the accident that hurt the most. It was the silence. He never came. My husband, the man I once believed would walk through fire for me, dismissed me with a single sentence when I called, my voice trembling, desperate. "I have no time for a loser." That was the last thing he said before the line went dead. I lay in that bed, stitches pulling at my skin, IV in my arm, replaying it, over and over. And the irony? Hours before the crash, I had been racing home, eager to share the news with him. I had inherited $13 million. $13 million, a fortune that could have changed everything for us. Or so I thought. I met him 10 years ago. He was charming then, sharp suit, sharper smile. The kind of man who could make a crowded room fade into silence just by stepping in. I was naive, hungry for love, and he fed me exactly what I craved. Tender words, promises of forever. I believed him. For years, I carried the weight of his dreams on my back. Worked late hours, cooked meals after midnight, covered bills when he couldn't. Every sacrifice I made, I told myself, was an investment in us. In the someday he painted so vividly. But someday never came. Instead came the distance, the late-night calls he never explained, the perfume I didn't own lingering on his jacket, the sudden hollow laugh when he thought I couldn't hear. I wanted proof. I got it one night when his phone lit up beside me in bed. A message. "I can't wait until she's gone." I didn't confront him. Not yet. Rage is easy. Revenge requires patience. And patience I had. The accident, brutal as it was, became my mask. He thought fate had handed him his freedom when I lay in that hospital bed. I let him believe it. I made my calls from the ward. First to my lawyer, then to the bank. I secured the inheritance in a trust, one he couldn't touch. Every dollar walled off in my name alone. On paper, it looked like I was weak, stranded. In reality, I was building my fortress. When he didn't come, I stopped waiting. Instead, I started planning. Days blurred into nights until finally, he appeared. Not alone. A woman clung to his arm, her smile smug, eyes glittering with triumph. His new wife, he introduced casually, as if tearing the last decade from my life meant nothing, as if I were already buried. But when she saw me, her confidence shattered. Her face drained of color, and her lips trembled before the words tore out of her throat like a confession from hell itself. "Oh my God, she's my sister." The room froze. My pulse did not. Yes, I knew. I had known long before she did. That message on his phone had been hers, her name, her number, her face, smiling beside him in photographs I uncovered. They thought they were clever, hiding in shadows, but shadows leave trails if you know where to look. I let her take him. Let her think she had won. Let him believe I was broken, penniless, abandoned. While I sat in silence, they signed papers, bought houses, planned futures, using money they thought would soon be theirs. Except every account they touched was poisoned. Every deal tied to me. Every asset slipping like sand through their greedy fingers. I walked out of the hospital months later, cane in hand, scars hidden beneath silk. They didn't know I was already free. I watched from a distance as their world unraveled. The loans he couldn't pay, the house foreclosed, the car repossessed in broad daylight while neighbors watched. And her, his shiny new wife, my own blood, screaming at him in the street, realizing too late that she had chained herself to a sinking ship. But the masterpiece was still to come. I invited them both, under the guise of closure. A private dinner, a neutral place. They came, desperate and disheveled, pretending confidence they no longer had. He leaned back in his chair, forcing a smirk, asking if I had finally come to accept reality. I smiled and slid the papers across the table. The trust, the inheritance, every cent they thought they'd inherit through me, untouchable, sealed tight, locked away where only I could reach. He read. His hands shook. Her eyes darted across the lines until the truth sank in. Not only had they lost everything, but they had destroyed themselves chasing a dream that was never theirs. I leaned in. You left me for money. You abandoned me when I was broken. And you married her? My sister! Congratulations. You deserve each other. I rose, cane steady, steps deliberate. I didn't look back, but I heard it, the sound of him breaking, the whisper of her sobs, the collapse of everything they had built on betrayal. Walking out into the night air, I felt no sadness, no regret, only clarity. He had called me a loser, but tonight I buried him with his own greed, and I finally won.